McAuley and East St. Louis Lincoln. And Karen, why don't you discuss who we should look for this afternoon from these two clubs?
Well, Brian, we heard from the coaches what the keys in general would be to this ball game, but there are quite a few key players, as you might imagine. The top one for McAuley being Megan Lucid, who has just had an excellent year for the Mighty Macs. And not only has she scored 20 points a game as an average in this tournament already, she's averaging 27 and a half and over 10 rebounds a game. She's on the All-State team, first selection going to DePaul, and she just leads this team that is somewhat of a family. I guess you could call her the mother of that group, but she's been just tremendous this season for Coach Diane Dara. On the other end, as we take a look at the Mighty Macs warming up there, East St. Louis, very talented team. Raquel Ransom's gotten most of the press so far this year. She's leading the team in scoring at over 21 a game and rebounding at 10.5, but she has a lot of help from her teammates, and one of those key ones is Anjanette Summerall, who has been on a tear in this tournament so far, averaging over 21 points and 11 and a half rebounds in the tournament, while only 13 points and around 10 rebounds on the regular season average. So they've been a great 1-2 punch for East St. Louis Lincoln.
Well, Karen, Diane Dara talked very much in our open about how her mother McAuley club will have to contend with East St. Louis Lincoln on the boards, and the stats the first two games downstate here would very much bear out that concern. East St. Louis Lincoln out-rebounded Chicago Washington 38-26, and then outboarded Hoffman Estates yesterday 41-21. So no one really has even come close on the boards to this point in time.
Well, we'll get a good look at Summerall and Ransom today. It's amazing from the second position. Their arms just seem to extend up over the defense, and they're able to get those offensive putbacks. So, you know, we'll look for a lot of rebounding, and McAuley certainly has to block out today.
Height versus speed, is that too simplified for this matchup today?
Well, that's what the main theme will be, but as we mentioned before, East St. Louis surely has a lot of speed that they can counter on McAuley's attack.
All right, we're set for the starting introductions. Let's turn things over to public address announcer Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineups for this afternoon's state championship game in Class AA, featuring the Mighty Macs of Chicago Mother McAuley, who entered this game with a record of 30-3, and the Tigerettes of East St. Louis Lincoln entering this game with a record of 28-1. At forward for Mother McAuley, a 5'9" senior, number 20, Megan Lucid. At forward for East St. Louis Lincoln, a 6' senior, number 41, Raquel Ransom. At the other forward for Mother McAuley, a 5'5" junior, number 12, Joanne McCarthy. And for Lincoln, at the other forward, a 5'10" senior, 45, Anjanette Summerall. At center for Mother McAuley, a 5'11" senior, 33, Noreen Nolan. And at center for Lincoln, a 5'10" senior, 53, Samantha Stevenson. At one of the guards for Mother McAuley, a 5'9" senior, number 21, Katie Whittingham. And at guard for East St. Louis Lincoln, a 5'9" junior, 23, Tori Frazier. At the other guard for Mother McAuley, a 5'5" junior, number 14, Kathy Thomas. And at guard for Lincoln, a 5'4" senior, 31, Shantaria Evans. And now let's meet the coaches. First for Mother McAuley. In her 12th season, the head coach is Diane Dara. Assistant coaches, Sue Ludwig and Mark DeHartog. And for East St. Louis Lincoln, the head coach in his 8th season, Charles McDonald. Assistant coaches, Theodora Smith, Alonzo Nelson, and Roderick Glover. And now, ladies and gentlemen,
we think the wait to get this one started will be worth it. One of your network sponsors is the Toyota Dealers of Illinois. Chicago Marshall beat Aurora West in last year's Class AA championship game, so we know there will be a new champion crowned in just a little while. Mother McAuley Mighty Macs against the Tigerettes of East St. Louis Lincoln. East St. Louis Lincoln designated as the home club for this contest in their home white uniforms with black and orange trim. Mother McAuley in their traveling red uniforms with gold and white trim. Noreen Nolan to jump center against Anjanette Sumrall. Sumrall wins the tap. Tigerettes control. Ball quickly, though, tipped out of bounds by the hustling Mother McAuley defense, led in that instance by Katie Whittingham, and Tigerettes will have it back.
Looking to see McAuley coming out in a 2-3 zone. They're going to try to limit Lincoln's inside game.
Here's Stevenson, free throw line. Returns the pass up top to Tori Frazier. Now left of the circle is Shinteria Evans. In the lane now, the fade by Anjanette Sumrall is short. Ball tipped out front and controlling it is Frazier. Now right baseline, Evans. Back to Frazier. Ransom now. Frazier tried to pass it inside, and it's quickly stolen by the great hands of Megan Lucid.
Well, when McAuley can't run, they set up a very disciplined half-court offense.
Lucid, the focal point of that offense, has the ball left baseline from three, short. And the rebound corralled by Raquel Ransom for the Tigerettes.
And that three-point attempt by Lucid was the same way she started out the semifinal yesterday, canning that nearly going, so she'll take those three-point shots.
She shoots 35% from three-point range. There's a shot lifted by Tori Frazier just inside the three-point stripe, and it's East St. Louis Lincoln with the early 2-0 lead. Lucid breaks the pressure in the forecourt. Through the lane, scooped it in with the left hand.
Yeah, Lucid's a natural left-handed player, so she's a little bit hard to defend. Once the defenders get used to her, though, they'll know to force her more to her right. Ransom,
15-footer right baseline is home. Raquel Ransom, who quite often shoots the ball with two hands, pushing it toward the hoop, has East St. Louis Lincoln out at front 4-2, and in the backcourt, Tigerettes trying to pressure and pick up their first foul.
Well, we've seen a lot of full court presses so far, and the quickness of Lincoln in their guard front, and along with Ransom there, got a little reach-in foul, and Katie Whittingham's going to go ahead and take it out on the sideline.
Shinteria Evans with the game's first personal foul. Pressure broken again. Lucid has it. Through the lane, left-handed scoop. This one's off. Ball tipped out front, though, and controlling it with a 10-footer was Katie Whittingham, and on the rebound, a jump ball is called. Alternate possession will keep it in Mother McAuley's hands.
Well, I'm sure Coach Dara is happy to see that McAuley's getting a second chance on the boards with the inside play of Lincoln. Usually Ransom is able to corral that rebound. We see a good effort and a tie-up that will keep possession for McAuley.
Whittingham missed a three-pointer off the inbounds, but another second chance for McAuley. Baseline, Joanne McCarthy misses a 15-footer, and finally the Tigerettes have the board. Evans, a very quick point guard. Left hands a pass to Ransom. Now Frazier, right of the circle, tried to pass it inside to Stevenson. It's tipped, but Samantha gets it back to Frazier. Now Ransom comes baseline again, rolled in a 10-footer, tough shot.
We saw her make a couple of those shots yesterday against Hoffman Estates. It's kind of an unorthodox shot, but nonetheless effective.
Lucid with another left-handed spinning shot. She has all four of Mother McAuley's points. They trail it 6-4. Ransom out between the rings. Frazier again from the left side of the key. Missed this one, and Lucid has the rebound all by herself for Mother McAuley. On the push now. Trying to weave through traffic. She is fouled on the play. Lucid deceptively quick.
And really what's nice is she's able to take the ball in the backcourt, get a rebound, and take it the length of the floor. All the McAuley girls are very good ball handlers, and Lincoln has to step up and make them stop at the top of the key and force them into their half-court offense.
This could be a key now for East St. Louis Lincoln, as Shinteria Evans has picked up her second personal foul and will have to take an early seat in favor of 5'4" senior guard Takeda Norman. We played about 3 minutes. Whittingham from three, missed another one, and Ransom clears the board for East St. Louis Lincoln. Frazier on the attack. Lobs to Ransom. Ransom from 12 feet out, rolled it off. Rebound inside, controlled, and put back up and in by Anjanette Sumrall.
Anjanette Sumrall showing why she's getting over 11 rebounds a game in this tournament.
Lucid drives the lane and an offensive foul, as Sumrall not only got the hoop at one end, but got all the way back down defensively to take the charge.
Megan Lucid's been going to the basket strong in the early going. As mentioned, Summerall just steps right in, made the great rebound on the other end, comes down, and she'll take the charge.
8-4, East St. Louis Lincoln. Chiquita Norman, pounded by Kathy Thomas. Norman right of the circle, Frazier, open from 15, it's short. Rebound controlled by Mother McAuley, and a foul over the back, I believe, on Anjanette Summerall.
Well, in that 2-3 zone, that's exactly what McAuley is hoping for, that they have to make the taller, more talented Lincoln rebounders just come right over their back.
Summerall with her first, third East St. Louis team foul. Kathy Thomas across the timeline to Lucid. Lucid hands to Katie Whittingham. Lucid has it back. The left-hander from three. This one might have been partially tipped. It was an air ball, and Ransom takes it out of the air for the Tigerettes. Frazier in the forecourt. We played half of the first quarter. And it tipped away, but a foul going to be called on a reach-in. Joanne McCarthy.
Tori Frazier had an opening to the basket, and McCarthy a little bit slow in getting there to cut her off, so was forced to reach in, and the ball will be taken out on the baseline when they come back after the timeout.
McCarthy with her first, second team foul on Mother McAuley. 4:02 remaining, first quarter, 8-4 East St. Louis Lincoln. One of your network sponsors is CB Geigy. This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the written consent of the Illinois High School Association and cost broadcast sales is strictly prohibited. 8-4 East St. Louis Lincoln with the basketball and the lead. Norman to Frazier. Mighty Mac still in that 2-3 zone. Frazier left of the circle. Norman, who came in for Shanteria Evans. Frazier puts up a 15-footer and hits it on the left side of the circle. Her second basket from that location. 10-6 now, and on the far sideline, a steal, but on the end line was Chiquita Norman. Otherwise, the Tigerettes were up the floor on the break.
Well, McAuley not used to being pressured as much by the guards. Lincoln doing a great job of just stepping up and being right in McAuley's lane.
Whittingham to Thomas. Lobs it inside, and the steal by an alert Anjanette Summerall. Lucid was trying to post up in that instance. Frazier holds, and now sending the offense once again, Norman. Ransom left baseline, pushes a 10-footer, long. Lucid with the rebound for Mother McAuley. Slow start for the Mighty Macs.
Well, we saw a lot of Katie Whittingham, who's finally gotten the ball up the floor. Not able to really get in a fast break situation for McAuley. Yesterday, all day long, sending the baseball passes up the floor.
Well, Whittingham fed Noreen Nolan, who had her shot blocked, and a tie-up, the alternate possession this time to East St. Louis.
And McAuley looking for Nolan to have a big game this afternoon if they're going to fare well against Lincoln.
That's the first time she had touched the ball offensively. Frazier to Ransom. In the lane is Summerall. Her turnaround 10-footer is off again, and Lucid with another rebound. Here they come on the break. Can Thomas track it down? No, cannot save it. So the feed from Lucid to Thomas just a little bit too far.
Yeah, I think they're a little anxious to get into that fast break game, and as you mentioned, just a little too far. But before long, I'm sure we'll see a few layups by McAuley off the defensive rebound.
2.5 minutes remaining first quarter. 10-4 East St. Louis Lincoln. Here's the ball tipped away by Nolan and stolen by Whittingham. Ahead to Thomas. This time a clean pass, and she lays it in.
Well, they must have heard me, Brian. We're about due for a layup, and great look up the floor on the steal.
Chiquita Norman across the timeline. Pulls up free throw line, and now another pass is tipped away and stolen by Whittingham, and Summerall fouled her trying to get it back. So there's another key. Anjanette Summerall becomes the second Tigerette to pick up 2 personal fouls.
And that's a bit of a frustration foul. Summerall just kind of reached in after she saw that she should have received the pass, and McAuley's starting to gain a little momentum here. Lincoln's got to pressure them with this press and not allow them to get those easy baskets.
Nolan left side, leans in, missed the shot as she fell to the floor, and Summerall has the rebound for East St. Louis Lincoln. Frazier to Ransom in the lane, forced the shot, but banked it in anyway.
Well, their offense is being run a little differently now. Lincoln's offense, that Evans is on the sideline. We got Frazier bringing the ball up, so.
Nolan feeds it inside, and the basket put up and in by Joanne McCarthy. So McAuley starting to step up the tempo of this game. They trail it, though, 12-8.
Well, up tempo is no kidding. As soon as you're finishing a thought, there's a score on the other end, so.
Ransom again in the lane. Running one-hander is in. Raquel Ransom with 8 of East St. Louis Lincoln's first 14. Lucid spins and is fouled out front by Taquita Norman. So that's 5 team fouls now on East St. Louis Lincoln, the first on Taquita Norman.
Well, Lucid has great size, and she's a very good one-on-one player as well as ball handler, and she'll challenge anyone going to the hoop. And that time, Norman just kind of stepping in her way and trying to cut off the pass to the basket.
The fifth foul means bonus time. Megan Lucid, 67%, hits the first. Neither of these clubs great free throw shooting teams. McAuley, though, better than Lincoln. McAuley at 59%, Lincoln at 52%.
Yeah, but both have shown that they can really shoot those free throws come tournament time and in the big game.
Lucid brings McAuley within 4 at 14-10. 1:15 for the first quarter. Tori Frazier from 15 hit another one. So Tori Frazier and Raquel Ransom have been the extent of the East St. Louis Lincoln offense. Lucid in the lane. Out of control, missed the shot, but a blocking foul going to be called.
Well, she brought Samantha Stevenson along with her, whether she wanted to come along for the ride or not, but Lucid was going strong in there. Call could have gone either way, but it looked like a little bit of the hip swing on Stevenson, and Lucid will get the benefit of the doubt.
And 2 free throws. It's the first one perfectly. This is a young lady that with a big game this afternoon could become the new #1 scorer in Class AA tournament history. 32 points, right?
Yeah, she's already 27.5 at 29 and 26, so doing a lot of scoring down here in Champaign.
Has 8 now. It's back to a 4-point game. Ball tipped away and almost stolen out toward the timeline, but Frazier has it. Lobs it inside to Sumrall, who rattles in a 5-footer.
You can just see the athleticism of Sumrall in there. She's a long jumper, a sprinter for their track team, and she just elevates so well on her jump shots close in.
Joanne McCarthy, 35 seconds. Let's see if McAuley works for the last shot of the quarter. No, the pass stolen by Ransom. Right around, Whittingham lays it in.
Great move by Ransom at 6 foot, handling the ball like a guard. She even slapped the backboard on her layup.
Now Lucid through the lane, and a foul going to be called, blocking again. And the Tigerette bench wasn't sure about that call, but Sumrall, if that is on her, would be her 3rd personal foul. And I think it is. That could be a big key in this basketball game, as Sumrall with her 3rd and the 17th foul on East St. Louis.
Rolanda Lewis had to step in yesterday, did a great job in the semifinal game, so we'll look for her to just give a good breather to Sumrall, and we may see her again in the 2nd quarter.
Lewis in for Sumrall, yes, Lewis in for Sumrall, and Lucid now looking for her 6th consecutive free throw without a miss, and she's got it. 17.7 seconds. Having some trouble with the dribble is Taquita Norman, but has it back. Now finally crosses the timeline. Norman to Frazier. In the lane to Lewis. Pulls it out with 5 seconds, and Lucid steals. And then is fouled in the backcourt with 2.2. And that a foul that I'm sure Charles McDonald didn't want, because Lucid was a long way away from the basket with the clock running down.
Well, McAuley is with the advantage here because they have 2 team fouls. Lincoln with already the 8, putting them in the super bonus. She'll get 2 shots here at the free throw line, and that's a real advantage early on in the game.
Tori Frazier with her first personal. And Lucid continues her brilliant free throw shooting. 7 for 7 in this quarter.
Sure, the coaches stress that's what it comes down to in these big games. Hitting those free throws and making the defense pay.
She hits them both. Full court pressure now. Ransom toward the timeline, heaves the shot up, and it hits the backboard but falls short. 20-16, East St. Louis. Lincoln with the lead over Mother McAuley after 1 quarter here at the Assembly Hall in the Class AA championship game. One of your network sponsors is the American Dairy Association of Illinois and Wisconsin.
In the 1986-87 season, not only was February Fever introduced, so was a smaller basketball, 1 inch less than a men's basketball in circumferences, 2 ounces less in weight. That's why the basketball game on the girls' level is so quickly paced and much now like the boys. Back to the game.
Karen, you played with both sides basketballs. Does it make that big a difference?
Oh, it sure does. The assists go up for the girls. Ball handling is just much easier, and it's a little easier to handle on the inside as a post player.
Well, Mother McAuley has been handling East St. Louis Lincoln in the latter stages of the first quarter anyway, and the lead is only 4 for the Tigerettes. Nolan in the lane with a spinning 5-footer, her first 2 points.
And a good sign for McAuley. She's one of their few inside people with a little bit of size.
6 straight points now for Mother McAuley, and a steal for Nolan now. Spins right side, put it up and in. A pretty move, got the steal and came down and scored, and now it's 8 straight, and we are tied at 20. Ransom for the Tigerettes, double teamed in the corner. Lobs it to Norman. Norman to Lewis. 15-footer left baseline is in. Rolando Lewis off the bench with her first 2.
And the bench is very important for Lincoln in this game. They have the 2 starters, Shanteria Evans and Anjanette Summerall, in foul trouble.
Summerall on the bench with 3, Evans with 2. Here's Nolan again. Before she could go up, she was fouled on the play. So a conscious effort by Mother McAuley at the start of this quarter to get the ball to Noreen Nolan.
And she's responded. Megan Lucid in the first period was the bulk of the offense for McAuley, but they do need to have a little bit more balance if they're going to crack open this game.
Foul on Rolando Lewis, her first. And East St. Louis Lincoln picking up the fouls in a hurry as Nolan hits the first of 2. The first player other than Megan Lucid to go to the foul line for Mother McAuley, but Lucid did quite a bit of damage in that first quarter.
Well, she's on record pace here. 8 free throws made would be a tournament record, and in the championship game it is 9 so far, set by Tracy Crick from Peoria Ridgewood, so I'll look to see Lucid break that sometime today.
Nolan hits both free throws. We're tied again at 22. Ransom lobs to Frazier. Now to Keita Norman. Ransom looking inside. Spins right baseline. 10-footer rolls short. And Whittingham has the rebound for the Macs, and here they come on the run. Thomas almost lost it. It was tipped away by Tori Frazier and out of bounds, but the Macs are really starting to force that break now.
Yeah, luckily for Thomas, Frazier did get a hand there. You don't usually see a lot of turnovers by McAuley on their break, but they're forcing a little heavy here in the early going.
Whittingham, touch pass to Lucid, lost it, but controlling it is McCarthy. Now Whittingham from 18, just inside the 3-point stripe. Katie Whittingham with her first 2.
Well, that pass, she must have learned from one of her volleyball friends at McAuley, but a great step up and basket.
And a great play at the other end by Noreen Nolan as she tipped the basketball off of Samantha Stevenson and out of bounds. And back in the lineup for East St. Louis Lincoln is Shanteria Evans as Takita Norman sits down.
Well, she's a big key to this Lincoln defense. We'll see Evans, she takes control on the court, and I think that's why they put her back in with the foul trouble.
Now East St. Louis Lincoln in his zone for the first time.
Showed that 1-3-1 all day yesterday, and they're out in it again.
Oh, did Lucid weave through traffic, but missed a left-handed layup. Did everything right, but put the ball in the basket. Tigerettes with the rebound, and on the attack is Evans. Dribbled into a corner, a bad spot to be, but she's fouled on the play. A couple of McAuley players were there, and I believe Kathy Thomas whistled for the personal, only the 3rd on Mother McAuley in this game.
Yeah, Kathy Thomas a little bit too aggressive on the trap, but it's not harmful. They're only, that gives 3 team fouls for McAuley at this point.
19 fouls for East St. Louis Lincoln, and as we said, just 3 for Mother McAuley to this point. And more importantly, 2 East St. Louis Lincoln players in foul trouble. Now we have a whistle away from the play.
I believe
Mother McAuley foul. Or both ways they're going to call a foul.
It'll be out of bounds to East St. Louis Lincoln. A little double foul here with Rolanda Lewis getting the foul for Lincoln and Whittingham for McAuley. Must have been some kind of football screen set over there.
So the Tigerettes with the basketball back. Lucid knocked the ball away from Frazier, but she got it back to Ransom. Now in the lane, Lewis missed a 10-footer off the board, but the ball comes right back to her. Now it's an air ball. Ransom's follow. She is fouled. So that's exactly what McAuley doesn't want, is the Tigerettes to start playing pity-pat with that basketball on the offensive boards.
And you can see why Ransom is so effective as an offensive rebounder. Just really elevates, and she's able to hang up there for that extra second or two. Not a lot of girls able to do that. Squares her body up and either draws the foul or gets the easy shot.
Maureen Nolan with the personal, and Ransom misses the first of two. She's a 59% shooter. Second team All-Stater that's headed to Southern Illinois. Ransom misses the second. Lucid had the ball tipped away, and she might have turned it ankle. And you can definitely sense a heavy sigh going up around the McAuley faithful as Megan Lucid went down in a heap, and she is holding her left ankle.
You never wish that on anyone. She is one tough customer, and Coach Dara obviously concerned.
Lucid up to a sitting position, but pointing to the left side of her left ankle, and I think they're going to try to get that shoe off as quickly as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mother McAuley is a balanced club, but Megan Lucid is someone they can ill afford to lose. Whittingham breaks it with the pass to Joanne McCarthy. Whittingham now with it back. Benner to McCarthy. Whittingham returns to McCarthy. Now back to Whittingham. Steps up with a 10-footer around and out. And the rebound and a tie-up as Tori Frazier came down with it, but both Whittingham and McCarthy were there to tie her up as she brought the ball down. So now McAuley on the alternate possession will have it back. Joe Passion working very hard to get a report on Megan Lucid's ankle along the sidelines. We'll have it for you as soon as possible. But we do expect her back. Thomas to McCarthy, right baseline. 15-footer rolls off, and a tough rebound for Rolando Lewis, and she is fouled from behind.
Well, Benner got her from behind and just trying to get in and get some of those second efforts, but Lincoln doing a great job on their rotation. McAuley mentioned they're going to try to take advantage of Lincoln's 1-3-1 zone defense by working the baseline hard, but their quickness enables them to cover a whole lot of floor space.
Rolando Lewis, just a 37% free throw shooter, has a 1-and-1 opportunity. Missed the front end, and the rebound to Joanne McCarthy for the Mighty Bats.
Yeah, credit McCarthy for stepping in quickly on the shooter to corral that rebound.
Whittingham sets the offense out front. They bounce it inside to Nolan. Triple team. Whittingham has it back. Now cross court, McCarthy. Inside to Benner. She's triple team. Pass tip, but right to Whittingham, who hits the 13-footer.
Well, they have those players that are capable of taking up the scoring slack now that Lucid's out for a while, but she will be back.
26-22. McAuley with their biggest lead at 4 and 4 minutes remaining first half. Tori Frazier, double dribble. Was trying to pick the ball up to make a pass, but was bothered by Kathy Thomas enough. And she batted the ball twice, and on the turnover, the Mighty Macs with it back, looking now to extend their lead. Whittingham around traffic, all the way in the lane, missed the layup, and the rebound to Samantha Stevenson.
Looks like she wanted to pull up, but she said, what the heck, I'll take it all the way down.
Great hustle on the near sideline. Joanne McCarthy diving for a loose ball, but couldn't save it, and the Tigerettes will have it back. I think Diane Dara measures how effectively her ball club plays by the number of floor burns they get. They're all over the place. Chanteria Evans for the Tigerettes. Frazier to Ransom, out high right. she has been quiet. 15-footer is off, but in the corner, Frazier tracks it down. Now her 17-footer is in. Tori Frazier with 8.
Really has her outside game going. That's very important as McAuley's packing it in.
And Nolan travels with the basketball. Thomas gave her a pass along the left side, but Samantha Stevenson was there looking to take a charge. I'm not sure Nolan saw her.
Stevenson alertly stepped in, and Nolan turned right into the traffic.
Now the Tigerettes can tie with just about 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Evans backs it out. Frazier to Ransom. Now Evans with an 18-footer. It's in just inside three-point land. Shanteria Evans with her first 2. She averages just under 13. Thomas to McCarthy. 15-footer is in. Joanne McCarthy with 4, and both clubs starting now to shoot better from the field.
Well, McCarthy had 18 points against Rich South in the semifinal yesterday, so very capable scorer.
They are taping up Megan Lucid's ankle, and she will be back. So that's good news for the Mighty Macs. 28-26. They enjoy the 2-point lead. Evans, shot is short from out front. And Whittingham clears for the Mighty Macs on the run. Whittingham bounce left to Thomas, who banked it in. What a pretty feed, and Kathy Thomas with 4.
Whittingham getting the defensive rebound, running up the court, making the great assist on the other end.
Ransom up top to Frazier. Evans has it now to Ransom. Steps up, had it knocked away, got it back. Evans now, 15-footer is in. Shanteria Evans has taken it upon herself to assume some of the offensive load, and she has 4. McCarthy to Nolan. They run at her left side, and she traveled again. Noreen Nolan trying to make a cute move and get around the charging East St. Louis defense, but she turns it over for the second time in the last couple of minutes.
Well, look for Evans, the floor general. She brings it up. Her presence is really needed on this Lincoln club.
Both clubs take pretty good care of the basketball, and they each have 6 turnovers so far. Frazier's 15-footer is short. Ball tipped away, and a jump ball is called as 3 players dove to the floor. Alternate possession will keep it in the Tigerettes' hands.
Well, Whittingham visibly upset because Rolanda Lewis gives her a little shove from behind, but call was made after that, and more important things here, Brian.
Mother McAuley's heart and soul, Megan Lucid, is back as Benner sits down. I didn't think you could keep her out for long. Frazier from the baseline, short again. Rebound to McCarthy. McCarthy to Lucid on the break. She lays it, no. Ball tipped to the floor. Nolan went back up and was fouled, but I guess Lucid's ankle's all right. She beat everyone down the floor.
Well, she's testing it out in a hurry here. Just sprinted and was ahead of the pack up the floor, and looked like she was going to get that easy layup. On the follow-up, we got Noreen Nolan alertly sneaking in on the weak side for the rebound, and she'll try to get 2 from the free throw line.
So Rolanda Lewis, who came in for Anjanette Sumrall, who had 3 early personals, now Lewis has 3. Nolan has a free throw and 1 more coming.
Well, you have to credit the way that McAuley is attacking inside. They're making the Lincoln players come out and foul, and really gotten them into foul trouble here in the first half. Nolan
continues to keep McAuley perfect at the line. She is 4 for 4. Lucid is 8 for 8, and it's 32-28 McAuley. Ransom, baseline, missed the 15-footer. Frazier trying to keep it alive. She does with a fine offensive rebound. Evans has it tipped away but retrieved. And then, as she tried to pass to Frazier, McCarthy kicked it. And they'll inbound on the far sideline with 1:05 remaining in the half.
Well, I don't think Lincoln's used to playing against a team that's defense is this tenacious. They not only get in the passing lanes, but they've got a hand almost on every ball that is entered.
Ransom in the lane, fades, missed the shot, tips it to herself, follows it up and in. What a strong rebound and follow for Raquel Ransom. Lucid out front from 18, long, rebound Evans. Now East St. Louis Lincoln can tie. Evans against Lucid, left baseline, had it tipped away and out of bounds, and a foul I think going to be called as well. We'll see. Yep, I believe Thomas called for a reach-in.
I'm getting a kick out of Kathy Thomas here. That's 2 fouls we've seen her commit. She kind of does it real quickly, slaps her arm in there, and then just walks away real fast to hope that the ref doesn't see her. But she's been caught on both occasions.
17 fouls now on Mother McAuley, and Shantaria Evans, a 43% free throw shooter, who was 6 of 6 though last night in their win over Hoffman Estates.
Boy,
1-and-1 opportunity.
She really had some key free throws there down the stretch, Brian, that just sealed that win. It was a back-and-forth game the whole time, and Evans in overtime, a couple good shots, but mostly it was that free throw shooting.
A made free throw here to tie the game. 42 seconds left. See if McAuley works for a last shot. Whittingham through the lane, bounce to Lucid, who laid it up. No, but a foul called. Whittingham, boy, she is just so effective at penetrating that defense and finding cutters to the hoop.
She finds the seam. If it's open for her to go all the way, she'll go, but great at spotting the open player. On that last play, too, we had Lucid still coming up a little short. I think she's a little tentative because of the ankle sprain, and it'll take her a while to get back in her shooting groove, although she has never lost it from the foul line. And that shot, Brian, I think you got a record in front of you there.
Megan Lucid now has the record for free throws in a tournament game in Class AA. 10 of them in this half. And McAuley with a 2-point lead and a steal for Kathy Thomas. Thomas now pulls it out to Whittingham. 20 seconds for the half. Lucid baseline, trapped. Whittingham lobs to Nolan. Nolan, bank shot, no. Rebound to Tori Frazier. Outlet to Evans, streaking down against Thomas. She lays it up, no, and the rebound to Nolan. 8 seconds, here they come, 2-on-2. McCarthy, right side with 5. Comes baseline, fades from 10, missed it. Rebound and a foul called with 0.6 seconds on Katie Whittingham. And that's one Diane Dara slumps back in her seat in disgust about.
Yeah, you may have wanted to let that go because, well, there's no doubt you would have. Right now, Lincoln in the super bonus, they'll get a chance for the 2 shots, whereas McAuley could have gone in the locker room with, the for sure 2-point lead. We'll see if Lincoln can tie here.
Samantha Stevenson, a 37% free throw shooter, but she hit all 3 of her foul shots against Hoffman Estates. 2 shots coming. Has not scored so far. Until now.
Samantha Stevenson, another track star too. She's a shot putter for that great Lincoln High School track team.
Well, she shot puts the second one up and in, and we're tied at 34. And with 0.6 seconds, as soon as they can retrieve the ball along the near sideline, Mother McAuley will inbound and heave it toward the hoop in one motion. Nolan to Whittingham, and the half comes to an end. Well, what would you expect with 2 of the top teams in the state going for the championship? We are tied at halftime, Mother McAuley and East St. Louis Lincoln at 34. And it was East St. Louis Lincoln early, Mother McAuley toward the middle part of the first quarter and the early part of the second, and then East St. Louis Lincoln coming on a bit toward the end of the half.
Well, McAuley did a nice job when Lucid went down of maintaining composure and just filling in for her.
Tied at 34, and Mother McAuley head basketball coach Diane Dara is standing with our Joe Passion along the sidelines. Joe?
All right, with Diane Dara, Joe Passion back with you here at halftime. We got a lot to talk about here in the locker room.
Yeah, we really didn't do a good job on the offensive boards the second quarter. We're not working our transition as well as we would like to. We're starting to shoot outside. We want to try to get the ball inside and draw some more fouls. We did a great job drawing fouls in the beginning part of the game, and then we kind of got away from that. With Megan going down, that hurt a little bit, but when she came baak, it gave us a big lift. So.
You feel okay about your position at halftime?
Oh, yeah, we feel real good about it.
Okay, thanks very much, Diane. Diane Dara, the head coach of the Mighty Macs, who are here at the break, and we will be back with our halftime festivities from Assembly Hall on the campus of the University of Illinois in Champaign on the Illinois High School Association Girls Basketball Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to midcourt.
We are tied at 34 at halftime of the Class AA championship game for the girls of Illinois. Mother McAuley and East St. Louis Lincoln tied at 34. 12 points for Raquel Ransom. She led East St. Louis Lincoln in the first half, and Megan Lucid with 14 and set a tournament record with 10 consecutive free throws. And as a team, Mother McAuley, 14 of 14, got East St. Louis Lincoln in foul trouble early.
Well, McAuley not getting many field goals, as you mentioned. They're driving in the basket, able to get to the free throw line, and it's proved effective as Lincoln has had to go with some of their starters, foul trouble, sitting on the bench. They've had to rely on some of their people coming off the bench and playing well.
Well, McAuley, meanwhile, had to survive a scare when Megan Lucid went down with an ankle injury, but she came back in and even hit some free throws at the end of the half, so I'm sure she's fine.
A real gutty performer, you know, comes right back in. She's the first one up the floor, and just a real leader, but McAuley did do a nice job when she went onto the game. Lincoln, on the other hand, they're there, you know, consistently getting those second shots, and that's what McAuley needs to limit in the second half.
I would think, considering the foul problems of East St. Louis Lincoln, that McAuley has to be a bit disappointed. I think we heard it in Diane Dara's voice to be tied at halftime.
Yeah, I think they are, but Lincoln, on the other hand, they need to work with their guards a little more and possibly feed the ball into Summerall on the inside. She has been very quiet in the first half, and she has been scoring over 20 points a game so far in this tournament.
Well, we've gotten everything we've expected so far. East St. Louis Lincoln and Mother McAuley tied at 34 here at halftime, and we'll be back with more after these local messages.
Number 22, Renee Worthington. Number 23, Julie Willis.
I don't know either.
Okay, so we're not going to trophies, right?
I thought we were maybe.
I thought you were maybe throwing to that, or.
I thought Joe was coming.
Number 30,
I'm losing.
Ronnie Marmot. Number 31, Christy Rock. Number 32, Chris Weir. Number 33, Katie Winsky. Number 34, Kim Johnson. And number 35, Emily Longmore. Those are the Hawks of Hoffman Estates High School.
Stand by.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting medallions to the squad members of the third place team will be Mr. Ed Roberts of Oak Forest High School in Oak Forest, who serves the IHSA.
Here at halftime with a tie score, we have an opportunity to take a look at our tournament scrapbook, our special in-depth look at the history of the state tournament. Tonight we take a journey down the road of the 15 years that has taken so much determination to get the girls basketball tournament underway. In fact, Assistant Executive Secretary Shar Bremberg, she feels the tournament is flourishing, and it has been doing that now over 15 years, leading it away. But it took a lot of effort, a lot of meetings, and certainly a lot of determination on the part of many men and women who try to get girls basketball underway here in Illinois.
Assistant coach, Brenda Clark.
The rationale I was given by my physical education teacher just, you know, girls weren't strong enough to do this. They didn't have the aerobic capacity to do that, and they never said it wasn't ladylike or the society didn't accept it.
We held out for basketball and said any sport that is taught to the in the physical education classes to the less skilled ought to be appropriate for the girls who were highly skilled. I could have no justification for basketball then in the physical education curriculum if there was something inherently wrong. If the highly skilled, trained girl was to get some ill effects out of it, I didn't see any reason then we should have it in the regular curriculum. So that really, you know, got us a little bit annoyed. So we took it from there.
Of course, when the games start being televised, I could hardly believe it. I could hardly believe that they were actually televising girls basketball. I mean, it was just a pure joy. As a matter of fact, today, if I'm around a high school and I see the girls heading for the locker room for practice, and I hear them talking about their teams or see a bunch of them loading on a bus to go for a match, I'm thinking, ladies, you don't know what we went through to make that possible, and I feel so happy. I would never tell them, but it's just exciting.
Well, and what's good about it, too, is that when you watch them, you know, they said that something bad was going to happen to the girls if they played basketball. You know, geez, none of them have dropped dead on the court or anything else. They've just done really well. I imagine the ladies that were opposing this or the gentlemen at that time are thinking, oh, my goodness.
I couldn't deny the argument that the professors and the women who were older than us at the time who felt that there was a lot of problem with overemphasis. Certainly right now today, particularly in college sports, we have some concerns about overemphasis. But I would always argue that if there are problems, how are you ever going to correct the problems if you don't ever participate? If we waited, I used to always say, if we waited for our country to perfect democracy before we installed it, we'd still be waiting.
Yeah.
Both Dr. Grenier and Heitman have supported the IHSA's tournament enthusiastically. That's why this tournament exists as it does today. At halftime of the Class A finals, later tonight, our tournament scrapbook will take a look back at the 15-year history of the tournament. In the meantime, let's go down to the floor and check in on the consolation trophies being awarded to our two other teams.
If you please. And congratulations to the Lady Stars of Rich South, this year's third-place finisher in Class AA.
We're at halftime, and we will be back with the second half of the IHSA Girls Class AA Basketball Championship after this timeout from your local sponsors.
Down toward the end of halftime here at the Girls Class AA Championship game. East St. Louis Lincoln and Mother McAuley tied at 34. I'm Brian Wheeler along with Karen Stack, and the ball game stat-wise about as even as the score would indicate, I would think.
Well, most of McAuley's points coming from the free throw line, but as we thought, Ransom leading the way for St. Louis Lincoln.
The foul problems were the big difficulty for East St. Louis Lincoln in that first half, but field goal percentage pretty even.
Yeah, it is, and again with the rebounds, East St. Louis controlling their turnovers about the same. Both teams pretty similar in throwing on that press, and yeah, that's a pretty good turnover ratio considering the up-tempo of the game that we've seen so far in the first half.
Thanks to the foul line, Megan Lucid, the game's leading scorer in the first half. She had 14, with 10 of those 14 coming at the foul stripe. As we said, a new record for consecutive free throws in a state tournament game. And then Noreen Nolan with 8 and balance scoring from there. But for East St. Louis Lincoln, one girl in double figures, that Raquel Ransom, their leading scorer on the season, with 12. And Jeanette Sumrall really didn't have much of a chance to get in the flow of the offense, had but 4 points, but picked up those 3 early fouls.
Well, really quiet in the first half, but don't look for that to last very long. She's very talented. We'll probably see quite a bit of her on the offensive boards in the second half.
Well, we're tied at 34. What would you say the keys to the second half are?
Well, it's like they haven't even started the game, but I think it's going to be Lucid a lot. If she can handle that ankle sprain and continue to lead the team, that'll be a big key. Lincoln has to just keep up with the tempo, maintain on defense, and keep the intensity level up.
Well, the teams are back out on the floor, and we'll have second half action coming up momentarily. Mother McAuley and East St. Louis Lincoln are tied at 34. We'll be back with more after these local messages.
You've always heard coaches talk about that's why they have two halves in a basketball game. I'm glad Coach McDonald feels that way. What adjustments do you have to make here in the second half to stay in pace with McAuley?
Well, we're going to have to cut off some of the lanes to the basket and, of course, cut off the passing lane and play, do a little bit better job on defense.
Tell us a little about the locker room. The emotion of your girls where you want it to be at this point?
Right. Very attentive and listening to what we have to say, and hopefully we'll be able to go out and execute.
All right, Coach. Best of luck in the second half. And back now over to Brian Wheeler and Karen Sachs.
Thank you, Joe. Megan Lucid had 26 points against Rich South, 29 points against Evanston, and had 14 in the first half here this afternoon as Mother McAuley and East St. Louis Lincoln are tied at 34, and Lucid getting loose for a couple of layups.
Well, in the early going, Lucid did find that pass to the basket. She was consistently driving as opposed to taking the outside shot. Nice look in there by McCarthy to Lucid, wheeling around in the lane. And this is pre-ankle sprain, so we'll see if she's able to do those same types of things in the second half.
You know, you've had, like any basketball player, ankle problems at one time or another, and what always seems to be the key in a game like this, when you hurt that ankle in the first half and then you go in at halftime, very often it stiffens up when you get into the second half if the sprain is anything at all serious.
Sure, I have no idea what the condition of her ankles were before, but if this is a first sprain on that, you just hope she can keep it moving, keep the blood circulating, and it's going to be a little tough to do the cuts off of. I think we'll see her shooting maybe from the outside a little bit more in the second half.
Raquel Ransom, meanwhile, the leading scorer coming in for East St. Louis Lincoln, and the leading scorer in the first half with 12. She was very active at both ends of the floor.
Got a lot of her shots on these driving type moves where she spins and you think, hey, that shot's not going in there, but she's able to put it down, has had a lot of second chance points where she's followed up for the offensive boards.
Ransom averaging just about 15 boards per game. I don't think she's quite on that pace through the first half, but you saw in our statistical breakdown that East St. Louis Lincoln did have the rebound advantage over Mother McAuley, something that figures to stay consistent, but I think Diane Dara is just hoping that her Mighty Macs can stay close to East St. Louis Lincoln on the boards. They have the basketball first to start the second half.
And Lincoln showing that 1-3-1 zone.
Whittingham to Nolan. In the lane, the turnaround jumper is in. So Nolan, who took a while to score in the first half, gets the first two in the second. And an early turnover almost as Lucid and Ransom go down to the floor and tie each other up. Alternate possession will keep it in East St. Louis Lincoln's hands.
The press really hasn't bothered Lincoln much so far, but that time almost got the turnover for McAuley.
Evans to Tori Frazier. Hit some pretty fine outside shots in that first half. Here's an outside shot from Evans. It's home. Shanteria Evans, who was in foul trouble early, now has 8. Tied again at 36. Kathy Thomas to Whittingham. Steps up. Now the pass to Lucid. Lucid in the lane. Adjusts on her shot and put it in.
I tell you, she worked for that shot. Lucid, usually you'd want to go to your right on that play, but she forced it left and was able to get the friendly roll.
Would have been a turnover had Tori Frazier not called timeout for East St. Louis Lincoln because there was nowhere to throw that basketball. 7:01 remaining third quarter. It's 38-36 Mother McAuley, and one of your network sponsors is the American Dairy Association of Illinois and Wisconsin. Karen, we said up top what a big factor Anjanette Sumrall had been for East St. Louis Lincoln in their first 2 wins here at Assembly Hall, but today with foul trouble, she has been very ineffective.
You hit the nail on the head. Foul trouble has caused her to be ineffective, but I still feel like she has the potential for an explosion here. They really have to be aware of her presence on the floor.
Evans breaks the pressure for East St. Louis Lincoln. All the way in the lane, had it knocked away from behind and out of bounds as Whittingham got a piece of that shot attempt, and the Tigerettes will inbound baseline left.
It looked like Nolan had her on the inside as well. They kind of sandwiched Evans on her drive.
Evans top of the circle. They're trying to sag in on Ransom. Down low, the pass tipped away and off Anjanette Sumrall and out of bounds.
Boy, and it's an ideal defensive play. Not only did Nolan get her hand in a passing lane, but to have it deflect off of the offensive player.
Whittingham to McCarthy. Now up top to Lucid. Lucid right of the key. Tried to pass it inside with a quick look to Joanne McCarthy, and it was tipped out of bounds, and now it's Diane Dara's Mighty Max to inbound baseline left. McCarthy to Whittingham. Now to Nolan, double team, leans in, banked it, no. Lucid with a strong rebound, put it on the floor, had it knocked away and out of bounds, they say, off Mother McAuley. And Lucid can't believe it, put her hands to her head.
Looked like one of the Lincoln players deflected the ball or almost had it tied up, so they'll bring it up the floor.
Tigerettes looking to tie again. Ranson, right side, banked it in from 10. What a strong move. She was determined on her way to the hoop.
That backboard's friendly to her. I tell you, she put that up hard, and if she hadn't caught the glass at just the right angle, that would have been way off.
First 2 of the second half for Raquel Ransom, 14 for the game. Lucid left of the circle, puts it on the floor, in the lane, and a foul going to be called on her way to the hoop. Boy, when Lucid puts her head down, there aren't many people that are going to stand in her way.
That's for sure. All the Lincoln players have tried so far. Lucid passes by one. The 3 Lincoln players have just tried to converge on her, and alertly Lucid tries to put it up, and they'll just take it out of bounds underneath the basket.
Samantha Stevenson with her second foul. First in the second half on East St. Louis Lincoln. Kathy Thomas to Whittingham. Now Nolan, 13-footer out front, rolls off. 2 East St. Louis Lincoln players are there, and it's Sumrall that comes away with it. To Evans. Evans weaving through traffic. Nice feed to Ransom, who lost it on the way up. Then it's tipped in the corner, and Frazier controls. Evans against Thomas. Backs it out to Frazier. Her 18-footer. Short. Rebound. Ransom follows it in.
And she just really has a nose for the ball in the right place at the right time, and has had some easy follow-ups this afternoon.
Lucid from 3. She hit it left of the circle.
And Megan Lucid so far, 2 for 2 3-pointers we saw earlier in the tournament, and cans one today.
First 3-pointer of the basketball game, and Megan Lucid has Mother McAuley back out in front by a point at 41-40. And now the inbounds pass stolen by Nolan. Nolan 3-on-2 right side. Now in the lane, hands to Lucid. Lucid fades, had it blocked. Cleared in the corner by Ransom as Lucid fell to the floor hoping for a foul.
She had wanted it so badly. She was open initially, and when the pass came, she had too many defenders on her.
Evans left side from 15. Air ball at the bottom of the net, and McCarthy is fouled from behind as she corralled the rebound by Tori Frazier.
Well, there was a lot of action on that last play. Out top, Evans on her shot. Looked like she got fouled from behind, and probably clearing the rebound with Frazier coming in trying to make a quick sneak in for a score on the weak side.
Tori Frazier becomes the 3rd East St. Louis Lincoln player to pick up 3 personal fouls. Lucid left of the circle. Back between the circles to Whittingham. Now the skip pass to Thomas. Lobs it inside to Nolan. It's tipped away, but right to Lucid. Bounced it inside, but it's stolen by Sumrall. Sumrall double team. Now the outlet to Evans. Evans across the timeline.
Excuse me, Brian. I like Whittingham's ability to just make things happen for McAuley.
Ransom has certainly made quite a few things happen for East St. Louis Lincoln. She now has 18, and the Tigerettes with the lead back with about 3:45 to play third quarter. McCarthy baseline to Whittingham. Return to McCarthy. Puts it on the floor. Headed blocked from behind. Foul call.
We're going to have Samantha Stevenson charged underneath with the foul. Joanne McCarthy alertly put the ball up, and to elaborate on the point I had before with Whittingham, I think against most of the other teams McAuley has faced, she's been able to thread the needle with some of that passing, and the last couple times down it's been almost there, but the quickness of Lincoln with their hands in the passing lane has not made it easy for McAuley to get into their half-court offense.
So Samantha Stevenson becomes the fourth East St. Louis Lincoln player with 3 personal fouls. And McCarthy now has Mother McAuley 16 of 16 from the foul line.
And you can't ask for more than that as a coach.
How many times have you heard championship games won with good free throw shooting?
Yeah, well, it's funny, this game here we're 43-42, and McAuley at Lincoln getting all their shots with just regular field goal attempts.
Third chance now for Ransom and the Tigerettes. Evans to Frazier in the lane. 15-footer short. Lucid tips it off out of bounds. So right now, McAuley having all kinds of problems on the backboards.
Well, Lucid's down there, and they got Whittingham on the other side, but they are giving up precious inches to the Lincoln players.
Frazier in the lane. 5-foot bank is off. Foul called away from the ball. It's going to be on East St. Louis Lincoln, and I believe it might be on Sumrall. And if so, that would be her fourth. Let's see, maybe Stevenson. Either way, it would be 4 personal fouls. It's on Samantha Stevenson. So quickly in the East St. Louis Lincoln lineup, Rolanda Lewis. The starting center, Samantha Stevenson for East St. Louis Lincoln, on the bench with 4 personals. And again, those team fouls mounting up. 4 for the Tigerettes, none for McAuley. McCarthy to Whittingham. Lucid trying to post up now, cutting through the lane. Whittingham bounces it to Lucid. Here, scoop shot is in.
And that was a scoop shot from her hip. The Lincoln players should have tried to force her back right, but took advantage of her left hand.
Nolan steals the ball, missed the layup though, and Ransom has the rebound for the Tigerettes. Her outlet pass chipped out of bounds along the near sideline, and East St. Louis Lincoln will have it back, trailing now by 3, 45-42. Shanteria Evans, who picked up those 2 early fouls but has not had one since, finds Ransom in the forecourt. Evans bounced to Ransom from the baseline, hit another one.
Two-handed shot of Ransom has proved effective. She's got a nice touch from the outside.
20 points for Ransom. We near the 2-minute mark for the third quarter. Kathy Thomas to Whittingham. Through the lane she comes, hammered on the play. So Whittingham has pretty much lulled East St. Louis Lincoln to sleep with some of her passes, and that time decided to take it to the hoop herself.
Really strong drive by Whittingham. Spotted a little opening in that seam. She's very good at finding the gaps out on the floor, and not known for scoring a lot of points, but in some of the key games on the way downstate here, she's really been capable of scoring.
Whittingham hits the first of 2. She's only a 48% free thrower on the season, and that is her first free throw attempt of the tournament at Assembly Hall. Whittingham hits them both. Now it's 18 of 18 from the foul line for McAuley. That foul, by the way, on Raquel Ransom, her first. Shanteria Evans. Ransom up top, Frazier. Now Evans baseline around Lucid, hit the running one-hander.
And a nice drive. I was seeing a whole lot of offensive repertoire from Evans today, hitting an outside shot and showing her quickness on the drive.
Whittingham to McCarthy, right baseline. Nolan flashes to the ball, triple team, but hit the 10-footer anyway.
Hey, tough shot, but what was key is she took her time, had her feet set underneath, and just really kept her eye on the goal.
Maureen Nolan with 12. Evans hits another shot left baseline. We are seeing the field goal shooting pick up again. 49-48 McAuley. Lucid in the lane, right around Lewis, and traveling called on Megan Lucid.
Well, Megan is trying to create something out of nothing there, driving the lane, and the Lincoln defenders are there and are doing a nice job of cutting it off, as Coach McDonald had hoped they would going into his halftime talk.
Interior Evans to Frazier. Low left, Sumrall banked it in. The first 2 points of the second half for Anjanette Sumrall, just 6 for the game. But here's Lucid in the lane, and she is fouled before she can go up by Rolanda Lewis, who has just picked up her 4th personal.
Well, Coach McDonald going to have to go to his bench because all of his big people getting in foul trouble here. Lewis just stepping right in, and I thought Megan Lucid didn't have the presence of mind to hold herself down there. Could have easily almost traveled there. Stevenson had the right idea stepping in.
1-and-1 opportunity for Lucid. Finally missed one. And the rebound, Nolan ties up Sumrall. Alternate possession. McAuley will keep it. The first miss from the foul line for both Megan Lucid and McAuley. 18 straight for the team before that one. Let's see now if McAuley works for a last shot. Nope. Whittingham from the corner missed it. Ball to Thomas. Thomas's pass tipped. Nolan has it and is fouled from behind.
Boy, things going McAuley's way. The ball has just been bouncing out long, and Lincoln's in there with a good inside rebounding position. But with the ball kind of bouncing out of the backboard, we'll see the pass deflection there. And Nolan coming up with it, but she's probably sorry she did come up with it. I think her back's going to be a little sore after this game tonight.
Anjanette Sumrall with her 4th personal. She played almost the entire 3rd quarter before picking up number 4, but she takes a seat now in favor of Constance Lockett as Noreen Nolan hits the first of a 1-and-1 situation. Her 13th point, and one more coming with 40.3 seconds remaining in the 3rd stanza.
Boy, those free throw percentages are deceiving. I mean, everyone has come in here looking like they're an 80% or better free throw shooter.
Nolan has McAuley back out in front by a point. Let's see if Lincoln now works for the last shot. 30 seconds. Evans right of the key. 18-footer is an air ball, but Lewis has it to Frazier. Frazier bounced to Evans, open from 15. This one short. Rebound in the corner. The McAuley player had it momentarily, tipped out of bounds, and McAuley will have it back with 17.9 seconds. Diane Dara says one shot. So McAuley figures to have the lead heading into the 4th quarter. They certainly have the fouls on their side. Thomas to Whittingham. Now to Nolan. Nolan to Thomas. Whittingham with an 18-footer. Barely hit the lip of the rim as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. Don't you dare go away. Mother McAuley with a 1-point lead over East St. Louis Lincoln, 51-50 after 3. And one of your network sponsors is True Value Hardware.
When we start the 4th quarter, it will be Lincoln's possession.
51-50, Mother McAuley with the 1-point lead over East St. Louis Lincoln as we are set to start the 4th and final quarter. Ransom tried to go up, had it tipped away right back to her. Now fights her way, and it's blocked from behind by Lucid. Then fight inside, and it's saved on the floor. The Tigerettes will have another chance. Boy, the offensive rebound and keeping East St. Louis Lincoln in the game right now.
Well, McAuley lucky they weren't whistled for a foul or two in that series, but the refs letting it go a little, which I'd like to see.
Frazier to Ransom. Ransom pushes a 15-footer. This one's hit the bottom of the net. Rebound to Constance Lockett, who missed a 10-footer. Ransom follows it up. No, and finally, Noreen Nolan has the rebound for Mother McAuley.
Lucky to not come away on that trip, allowing so many offensive rebounds.
Whittingham to Nolan. Now low right Lucid in the lane. Scoop shot is tipped. Rebound to Nolan. Her 5-footer rolls off. Rebound. Thomas fights for the ball and has it to Whittingham. Drives the lane. Running one-hander off. And the rebound to Tori Frazier. Both clubs fighting hard, but no one can put the ball in the basket right now. Evans to Frazier. Open from 18. Long. And the rebound to Kathy Thomas.
Well, Kathy Thomas, one of the shortest people on the floor, coming up with 2 big rebounds in the last series.
5'5", but averages 3 rebounds a game. McCarthy trapped at the baseline, but finds Whittingham. Whittingham to Lucid. Through the lane she comes. Scooped it in again with that left hand coming from her hip.
Well, someone's got to step up on that Lincoln defense and not allow her that easy pass to the basket going to her strong left hand.
23 for Megan Lucid. Remember, she needs 32 to set a new scoring record in Class AA for the state tournament. Frazier right baseline, trapped by Lucid. Ranson tracks down an errant pass, and Evans will reset. Ransom left baseline. From 15, she hit another one. Raquel Ransom with 22. Quickly back, though, are the Macs. McCarthy drives and is fouled by Ransom on her way to the hoop.
I think Ransom might have had her, with a clean block if she would have just fouled a little bit. She came right through on the body with McCarthy. A good ball, and boy, give McCarthy a lot of credit for going up against the 6-foot player there. No fear at all.
Joanne McCarthy is an 80% foul shooter. Has hit her only 2 shots this afternoon, and now is 3 for 3. Boy, the team fouls are a big factor right now. East St. Louis Lincoln with 8. None for Mother McAuley this half. That means McAuley can afford to be even more aggressive than they normally are defensively. 55-52 Mighty Macs. But yet, with all their foul problems, this one is still within reach for East St. Louis Lincoln. But Thomas steals from McAuley. Now Whittingham. McCarthy. Cross court to Lucid. Baseline triple team. Forced it. Missed it. Got the rebound. Followed it up. No, but a foul call.
Well, what Lincoln, they're playing good initial defense, and it's like they're having problems on the second series. They're standing and watching instead of turning and blocking out. And over on the McAuley bench, we had some of the signals going astray because Coach Darrow was so excited, and her assistant coach, Mark Hertog, had to go retrieve it. But Rolanda Lewis fouling out, and big people have been in foul trouble all day for East St. Louis Lincoln. Taking a look at Lucid, going up, and she's the first one to follow her shot, and yep, there's Stevenson right over the arm, and Lucid's deadly from the free throw line. You don't want to foul her.
Rolanda Lewis checks out with 2 points. Lucid misses the second. Rebound. Nolan followed it in.
We're seeing a key turn in the game right now, Brian. I believe that Lincoln's really got to come up with something in this possession to take the momentum away from McAuley.
Here's Frazier in the lane. 5-footer rattles around and in. Tori Frazier with an awfully big hoop, her first 2 of the second half. 58-54 McAuley. They had their biggest lead of the game moments ago. McCarthy to Whittingham. Now Nolan up top. Kathy Thomas. Whittingham, what a nice feed to Nolan, who hit a 5-foot turnaround.
And Noreen Nolan is stepping into the lane at just the right time, and been very effective with that turnaround when you get it to her in the right spot.
Evans across the timeline. Ransom, 15-footer short. Foul called away from the ball. It will be, it appears, on an East St. Louis Lincoln player. 2 shots on every St. Louis Lincoln foul from here on out for Mother McAuley. That one is on Tori Frazier, who now has 4.
As we're seeing Ransom there, it's a good thing it's not on her. She'd be out of the game. But Ransom, again, been quite, excuse me, I'm calling her Ransom. We got Anjanette Summerall, been very quiet in the second half and looked a little disgusted with herself on that walk down the court. But hey, you got to concentrate on the present moment right now in this championship game.
A good timeout for East St. Louis Lincoln. Whittingham's first free throw has Mother McAuley out in front by 7 at 61-54. And one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
Down here on the floor during a timeout, the most exciting place to be is behind one of the benches. And behind the Mother McAuley bench is a very enthusiastic place to be. As you probably have noticed already, Coach Diane Dara is a very energetic coach. She lets her players know that in the huddle. The East St. Louis coach is much different. Coach McDonald's much more laid back, slow talking very clearly to the girls. Both teams get the message in these last few minutes of the championship game. Back to the booth.
Thank you, Joe. And with Katie Whittingham's last free throw, Karen, another record set.
Well, this is 115 total points. It's the most scored in a championship game here in the IHSA history. Make that 116.
Whittingham has Mother McAuley out in front by 8, 62-54. East St. Louis Lincoln now has used 2 of their 4 allotted timeouts. They need a hoop. Right side with the shot, and the foul going to be called as Anjanette Summerall had one of her few field goal attempts of this game.
Well, Noreen Nolan, the guilty party on that one. Lincoln not able to get the ball into Summerall much. When they have, she's been effective. Just not often enough this afternoon, and that's only the first team foul on McAuley.
We played the entire 3rd quarter and almost half of this 4th quarter without a team foul for Mother McAuley. And the Mighty Macs have definitely made the most of their free throw chances. Summerall misses the first but hits the second and has 7. It's 62-55, and now the Tigerettes will have to turn things around defensively.
I think we'll see McAuley just taking their time, running their set offense, and Lincoln's really going to have to come out on them and look for the steal.
Here's McCarthy looking for Lucid. He's being fronted by Ransom. Here's Whittingham through the lane, bounces to McCarthy. Whittingham has it back, and Diane Dara says, hey, go back out and try it again. McCarthy lobs to Nolan. Her 5-foot turnaround is in. A nice catch. And Nolan with 20.
Exactly what I was thinking, Brian. That was a tough catch because she had the 3 defenders there, but even to be able to turn and score, things are going McAuley's way.
Ball tipped away. Frazier gets it back to Evans, whose 17-footer is long, and the rebound to Thomas. Thomas for the Mighty Macs, who are in no hurry with a 9-point lead and 3 minutes remaining. Mother McAuley making their 3rd trip downstate, 2nd in a row. They finished 4th last year. They're going for the gold this time around and in pretty good shape right now. Diane Dara wants a timeout if her club sees her, and she does. 2:48 remaining in the basketball game. Mother McAuley 64, East St. Louis Lincoln 55. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
In Chicago at midnight. Ladies and gentlemen, the Assembly Hall is hosting the state basketball tournament for the 14th straight year. And the University of Illinois.
We invite your comments on these tournament telecasts. Drop a note to IHSA TV, 2715 McGraw Drive, Bloomington, Illinois, 62701-2715. And of course, special thanks for your interest in our telecast. And it's been a good basketball game as we thought it would. Diane Dara looking for her 30th win of the season and more importantly, a state championship. Her Mighty Macs are out in front by 9 with the basketball and 2:45 left and the clock running. Whittingham weaving through traffic as the Mighty Macs have the floor well spread. And they're in a great spot because any foul has them in a two-shot situation, but Evans steals. Tigerettes need to score and score in a hurry. They lob it to Ransom. Triple team trying to fight her way in. Missed the shot. Rebound to Sumrall. Follows it in.
Well, I tell you, a key play for Lincoln, for Evans to come up with that steal and for Sumrall to be there for the offensive board and put back.
Whittingham again through the lane and back up top. 2 minutes now remaining.
One of the few times we've seen Lincoln out in a man-to-man, but they're forced to do it. They've been in a 1-3-1 the whole game.
Whittingham almost turned it over, but Thomas has it. Pressured by Evans. Now it's Nolan. Mighty Macs not looking to shoot, just looking to use some clock, and why not with a 7-point lead.
What's made McAuley tough all year, too, is Katie Whittingham is your point guard at 5'9". She really runs that offense, takes control. She's able to see everything on the floor.
After taking about 30 to 40 seconds off the clock, finally, Shantaria Evans reaches in and fouls Kathy Thomas. That's about all that East St. Louis Lincoln could do to stop the clock. Evans with her third, and Kathy Thomas, who has not shot a free throw this afternoon, will have 2 shots here. Rims the first one in, used every inch of it.
I tell you what, only 58% free throw shooter before this game, but when you make those clutch ones, that's what counts.
Thomas misses the second, and in the corner, the Tigerettes have the basketball. Joe Passion, what is East St. Louis Lincoln thinking right now? You were in on their huddle.
Coach McDonald very quietly talking to his girls, but impressing upon them. They've got to run with McAuley and help each other out, like on that basket.
That basket scored by Samantha Stevenson. Her first field goal of the afternoon, 4 points. It's 65-59 with 1:05 left. Whittingham running the show and wants her second timeout with 1:01 left. Mother McAuley with a 6-point lead at 65-59. Both clubs now have used 2 of their 4 available timeouts, and Diane Dara wanting to make sure that no turnover or quick shot results from the offense with McAuley up by 6.
Well, when you're holding the ball like that, you have to be very careful, especially if you're getting pushed towards the sideline or into another defender.
Any game in a state tournament by a team, 28 by Niles West against Marshall back at the quarterfinals in 1979. Right now, Mother McAuley has 26, and East St. Louis Lincoln figures to foul again, trying to get the ball back unless they can get a steal, so there may be an opportunity to tie or break that record before the final 1 minute and 1 second tick off.
Well, we might want to clarify the record we spoke about earlier was combined points. I was saying 114 points, and viewers might have been saying, hey, they don't have 114, but we're talking about the combined total of these 2 teams has been the most for any championship game down here in Champaign.
Under a minute now as McCarthy has the ball out toward the timeline. Now gets herself into a bad spot, but bounces to Kathy Thomas. They hand to Whittingham. That's who they want to have the basketball. McCarthy trying to foul her, but she finds Whittingham with 40 seconds. McCarthy all by herself on the left side of the floor. Now is fouled by Raquel Ransom with 35.4.
Well, the first foul actually occurred much earlier when Joanne McCarthy was fouled with the 2 hands in the back, so Ransom said, hey, we got to stop this clock from ticking away, and went up with quite the deliberate foul on McCarthy, and she'll go to the line.
As you can see, Joanne McCarthy is the one young lady you don't want to foul on this Mother McAuley team. 80% on the season, 4 of 4 today. 2 shots coming and hits the first.
That's why McAuley has done so well this season. They made sure that the ball is in their top free throw shooting people's hands in the closing seconds.
McCarthy hits them both. Mother McAuley has tied the record for most free throws in a state tournament game at 28. Their lead is 8, and the McAuley faithful can sense a championship now. Ransom forces a three-pointer and hit it.
Boy, I tell you, we saw some of that yesterday by the Hoffman Estates team getting back into it against East St. Louis in the semifinal, but boy, a real gutty performance today by Raquel Ransom for this Lincoln club.
25 points for Ransom, but Charles McDonald's club is still 5 points short right now at 67-62 after Shanteria Evans' 4th personal foul. And I think McDonald was upset that his club ran back down the floor instead of setting up for a press. And Evans was the only player back to commit a foul.
Well, I think they were so surprised that that 3 went in. The immediate reaction was to run back down to defense, but there's actually a lot of time left. If Lincoln can come out with a quick foul, put McAuley on the line, we'll have a few more possessions here.
Well, we talked about the dynamic duo of Raquel Ransom and Anjanette Sumrall for East St. Louis Lincoln. Ransom has done more than her share this afternoon with 25, 12 in the first, 13 in the second half, but Sumrall with 9 points and really never seemed to get untracked after she picked up those early fouls.
Yeah, it's very difficult. All the inside players for Lincoln have been in somewhat of a bit of foul trouble, and credit McAuley with being able to go strong to the basket, get to the free throw line, and Nolan's done a great job. Lucid, of course, and boy, just this is the reason they're...
The rebound, and she is fouled by Takeda Norman.
Well, Norman, no choice but to foul, and this will send another good free throw shooter to the line, as she's proved today. Thomas 1 for 1 on the other one, but I think all the McAuley players savor this minute. They're such competitors, want to get to that line. Kind of hit a rainbow there. Over the arc on that shot.
Thomas will have one more. She has 6 points on the afternoon. Missed that one. Rebound in the corner, tracked down by Evans. 15 seconds and the clock running. Evans' three-pointer out front is in. Timeout if they see it, but they inbound before the timeout can be called. Charles McDonald upset they didn't get it called, but it won't matter now as McCarthy throws up a shot. It's tipped out of bounds, and it's over. Or no, they have 0.3 seconds on the clock, but the officials say it's over. The officials are off the floor, so I don't know if they're going to be able to resume this game. Now they're coming back. Now the horn is sounded, and the official says it's over. He waved his hands from the dressing room. The teams aren't so sure.
Well, this is kind of an awkward situation for both teams, but Coach McDonald accepting the defeat and Coach Dara welcoming victory on the other side.
Well, now it is official. The Mighty Macs of Mother McAuley have defeated the East St. Louis Lincoln Tigerettes 69-65, and Diane Dara has her championship. The Class AA title holders are the Mighty Macs of Mother McAuley. A tremendous basketball game this afternoon. Megan Lucid, the leader all season long for Mother McAuley, providing the heroics again this afternoon with 24, and the foul shooting of Mother McAuley, the big difference. Joe Passion standing by with the winning coach, Diane Dara.
Well, Diane Dara has been here before as head coach of Mother McAuley, but now she leaves with what she always came here for. That's got to feel great.
Oh, it feels tremendous. This is my 3rd trip down here. First year we got beat right away. Last year we took 4th, and we have really made a commitment to ourselves within the last year that no way are we going to come down here and be denied. And this East St. Louis Lincoln team played phenomenally. They shot over 60% in the first half. We wanted them to shoot from the outside, figuring that that's the way we could get them. They shot 62% from the outside. We're like, all right, just hang tough. Maybe they can't continue that. And we had to go heavy on the boards. The key of the whole game is we got them in foul trouble. We kept driving, getting them in foul trouble, and these kids were the best they've ever been at the free throw line in their entire lives.
You talk about Lincoln shooting 60% from the field. Your girls shot about 95% from the free throw line.
I know. We came back down here last year, and we were terrible from the free throw line. We were embarrassed. We lost 2 games because of free throws, and these kids have been thinking about it for 365 days, and this was poetic justice watching these free throws go in tonight. It was awesome.
You talked about the revenge factor of last year's consolation game. You got them back here in the final. What does it say about the McAuley basketball program? Maybe now it begins to overshadow what has happened there in volleyball.
Well, we're not trying to overshadow volleyball. We want both programs to be the same, but we have had tremendous support from our student body and our faculty. This has been a dream team. This has been a destiny team, and we deserve this, and we're so happy that we won.
Congratulations, Diane, for a wonderful, wonderful job. All right, let's bring in some of the girls over here. Congratulations, ladies. You're champions of Illinois. Tell us first about the ankle. You came out of the locker room, and before I could even look over it, you sprinted back out on the court. How's the ankle feel?
It's a little sore, but there's nothing that was going to stop me from winning this state championship. Nothing in the world. I've been looking forward to this since freshman year.
Okay, you seem to handle the ball handling out there and really become the spokesman on the court, keeping this team together when there were times it could have become unjust.
Yeah, I was used to it. I've been doing it since sophomore year for this team. And I think I was ready for it this year, and I knew that this year I was going to have to do it.
Megan, tell me a little bit about how the team really got going here toward the end before they give out the trophies and knew victory was in hand.
Well, we just decided to keep a cool head and remember that forget the score. The score is 0-0, and just to play the game as we did from the beginning.
Okay, I'll let you go get your trophies. You deserve them. Thank you, ladies. All right, let's now go down and to our upstairs cameras and check in with our championship and runner-up trophy presentations.
Mother McAuley 69, East St. Louis Lincoln 65. One of your network sponsors is March Madness Video.
Assistant coach Alonzo Nelson. And now the players. Number 31, Shantaria Evans.
We were tied at halftime at 34, but Mother McAuley defeats East St. Louis Lincoln 69-65 to win the girls Class AA championship. One of your network sponsors is the Illinois Pork Producers.
Jeanette Summerall.
Mother McAuley defeats East St. Louis Lincoln 69-65 to win the girls Class AA championship. Now the moment these young ladies have been waiting for. The awarding of their first place medallions and the championship trophy.
Head coach Diane Dara. Assistant coach Sue Ludwig. Assistant coach Mark DeHartog. And now the Mighty Mac players, number 11, Amy McCarthy. Number 15, Jenny Costello. Number 22, Amy Byros. Number 31, Ann Shankman. Number 32, Sue Gallagher. Number 12, Joanne McCarthy. Number 14, Kathy Thomas. Number 24, Patty Harvey. Number 25, Erin Griffin. Number 30, Laura Frame. Number 20, Megan Lucid. Number 21, Katie Whittingham. Number 23, Julie Byros. Number 33, Noreen Nolan. Number 34, Sarah Benner. Statistician, Sister Roz Isillo. And scorekeeper, Mary Horrell. Those are the Mighty Macs of Chicago Mother McAuley. And now for the trophy presentations. Presenting the second place trophy will be Mrs. Lynn St. James of Lindblom High School in Chicago, who serves the IHSA as a member of the board. Will Coach Charles McDonald and the captains of Lincoln High School of East St. Louis please step forward to receive the second place trophy. Mrs. St. James, if you please. Congratulations to the Tigeress of East St. Louis Lincoln, this year's runner-up in Class AA. And now, presenting the first place trophy will be Mr. Levere Astroff, who serves the IHSA as Executive Secretary. Will Coach Diane Dara and the captains of Chicago Mother McAuley please step forward to receive the first place trophy. Congratulations to the Mighty Macs of Chicago Mother McAuley, this year's state champion in Class AA.
Mother McAuley wins the Class AA state championship. One of the young ladies holding the championship trophy, senior forward Megan Lucid, with 24 points this afternoon, finished as the second highest point scorer in tournament history. She certainly was a very big factor coming back from that ankle injury, and we worried that maybe she would have some problems in the second half. Such was not the case.
Not at all. I think there's some bittersweet tears there by the McAuley players. They're a big family. A lot of those players started as sophomores, and now their senior season comes to an end, and they've got to move on and start some other things starting next week.
Well, it was said all along that the mission for Mother McAuley all season long was to win a state championship, and win it they did, 69-65 over East St. Louis Lincoln.
At 6:30 tonight, it will be